in this house while the splits were happening, while the divorces were happening. Every split happened when we were living in this hash knife house.
About Kody and Robyn selling their house, and I just didn't believe it at all.
Finally, Kody sell his house. Robyn's secret broke Kody. $2 million meltdown and Meri's risky speed date, sister-wife scandal. Robyn says she was in deep depression, but fans say she's the reason everything fell apart. A $2 million loan, a crumbling marriage, and a house that became the Brown family's breaking point. And while Kody's financial world burns, Meri might be walking straight into danger on her speed date. This isn't just drama. It's the sister wives' downfall we've all been waiting to see unfold. Welcome back to Reality Replay, your go-to channel for the realest breakdowns of reality TV's most chaotic moments. Today, we're diving deep into the emotional storm rocking Sister Wives Season 20, where depression, debt, and danger collide. Robyn's confession has shaken fans, Kody's money problems have exploded, and Meri's new dating life might be taking a dark turn. Let's get into it. Robyn's depression confession. In the latest episode, Robyn Brown opens up like never before. With tears in her eyes, she admits, "I was in a deep, deep depression in this house while the splits were happening, while the divorces were happening. Every split happened when we were living in this hash knife house." It's a shocking emotional reveal, but fans aren't buying it. The hash knife house has now become infamous, not just as the Browns' last family home, but as the symbolic graveyard of Kody's plural marriage. Each wife, Christine, Janelle, and eventually Meri, found their breaking point during those years. And now, Robyn claims she was the one who suffered the most, saying she watched everything crumble around her. But here's the thing, Robyn's tears are being met with outrage online. Viewers point out that Robyn's arrival was the beginning of the end for the family. Many believe her deep depression came from guilt, or maybe fear, because by the time the walls were closing in, Kody's attention was focused entirely on her, while everyone else was left out in the cold. The $2 million problem. Now here's where it gets explosive. Sources close to the Browns reveal that Kody originally owed around $2 million. And guess what? The loan was for Robyn. This wasn't just a normal home loan or a small debt. It was tied to Robyn's house, and as the financial strain mounted, Kody was forced to sell the property as a last resort. That means Kody's so-called family man image was built on a financial time bomb, one that detonated right under his feet. And fans are calling it karma. For years, Kody prioritized Robyn's comfort, buying her a lavish home while his other wives were left fighting for basic attention and even housing stability. Now, that very decision is what's dragging him under. As one Reddit fan brutally put it, Kody risked everything for Robyn, and now she's the reason he lost it all. Was Robyn the real danger? It's ironic. Robyn says she was depressed because of all the family splits, but every major breakup happened after she joined. Christine left. Then Janelle pulled away. And now even Meri, after years of emotional abandonment, has finally walked out for good. Robyn's confession feels less like an apology and more like damage control. Some fans even suggest that Kody's danger wasn't financial, it was emotional. He's now trapped in a monogamous marriage he once swore he'd never want. The so-called spiritual wife he risked everything for is now his only partner, and apparently his biggest regret. Kody once bragged that plural marriage was the core of his faith. But now, he's living a single marriage that's falling apart just like the others. And the $2 million debt tied to Robyn's house. It's a heavy reminder that his loyalty and his finances might have been misplaced from the start. Meri's risky speed date. Meanwhile, Meri Brown is stepping into a new chapter, but fans are worried. In a teaser for the upcoming episode, Meri joins a speed dating event, a bold move for someone who's been out of the dating scene for decades. But what should have been a fun, fresh start quickly turns tense. Fans say Meri's body language screams anxiety, and some are even warning that her too trusting nature could lead to danger. One fan wrote, "Meri's been emotionally starved for years. She needs to heal, not rush into dating strangers." Still, Meri insists she's ready to move on from the man who humiliated her on national television. Remember when Kody told her straight to her face, "I have no desire to have a relationship with you"? That's the moment fans say Meri's spirit broke. But now, she's trying to rebuild, even if it means risking heartbreak again. The big question is, will Meri's search for love lead her to healing or more pain? The Browns' breaking point. As all of this unfolds, it's becoming painfully clear that the Brown family's so-called spiritual foundation has completely collapsed. Robyn's depression, Kody's financial disaster, Meri's risky new life. Each storyline feels like another piece of the family's downfall, and it all ties back to choices made years ago. Kody once claimed that God led him to Robyn, but fans are now calling it the biggest mistake of his life. Kody's money, marriage, and family are all slipping away, and even Robyn, the wife he once called the love of my life, seems trapped in a cycle of regret and resentment. The man who built his life around control is now watching everything spiral out of it. The inevitable fallout. So what happens next? Will Robyn's guilt push her to leave Kody? Will Meri's dating life actually bring her happiness? Or is this just the calm before an even bigger storm, financial or emotional? Right now, fans are torn. Some feel bad for Robyn's mental health struggles. Others think it's poetic justice. The same woman who cried about losing her family might finally understand what the others went through for years. And as for Kody, his downfall feels both tragic and inevitable. He once had 4 wives, a sprawling family, and a TV empire. Now he's stuck in a house full of debt, with 1 wife left, and millions watching the wreckage play out in real time. This story isn't over, not by a long shot. The Browns may call this a spiritual journey, but it's starting to look more like a financial and emotional freefall. What do you think? Is Robyn really a victim of the family's chaos, or the cause of it? And should Meri be more careful with her new dating life? When love falters, Christine and David's silent break, and Janelle's heartbreak. The Utah air was crisp that morning, the kind of cold that seeps in quietly, settling into your bones before you realize it's there. Christine Brown stood on the back porch of the home she shared with David Woolley, staring out at the mountains she once called her safe place. But today, they felt distant, unreachable. The laughter that used to fill the house had faded into silence. The once constant texts, the playful teasing, the way David always found a reason to hold her hand, it had all slowed to a trickle, then stopped altogether. Their love story had started as a redemption arc, a second chance for both of them after years of loneliness. Christine had called David her soulmate. Fans loved them together. After everything she endured with Kody, she finally looked free. Happy. But behind the smiles and Instagram posts, something was shifting. The subtle cracks. It started small. David had begun working longer hours on his construction projects, and Christine was traveling more for her new cooking and social media ventures. When they were together, conversations felt lighter, not in a good way, but in a surface way. They laughed, but not like before. Christine would notice David scrolling through his phone at dinner. David would notice Christine avoiding eye contact when she talked about her family, especially Kody in the show. They both told themselves it was just a busy season. But that season never ended. One night, Christine sat across from David in their living room. The fire crackled softly, but she could barely look at him. I don't feel like we're connecting anymore, she said quietly. David nodded. He looked tired. I know, he admitted. It's like we're living side by side, not together. That was the first time either of them said it out loud. And once the words were spoken, there was no taking them back. Janelle's reaction. When Janelle Brown found out, she didn't believe it at first. Christine had been her rock, her laughter, her best friend through the darkest days of plural marriage. After both of them walked away from Kody, they promised each other that the next chapters of their lives would be about peace, joy, and independence. Janelle had watched Christine's love with David blossom and thought, maybe there really is life after heartbreak. So when Christine called her one morning, her voice shaking, saying things weren't good, Janelle felt her chest tighten. Christine, no, she said, sitting down hard on the couch. You can fix this. You've both been through too much to just give up. Christine sighed. I thought so too, she whispered. But maybe we were healing from the same pain, not building something new. That sentence broke Janelle. Because deep down she understood it. They had both been trying to fill an empty space Kody left behind, a space shaped by neglect, by control, by years of not being truly seen. And maybe, Janelle realized, David couldn't fix that for Christine any more than Christine could fix it for herself. The distance between them, Weeks passed. David moved some of his things out quietly. Christine didn't stop him. They both avoided making it official. No public statements, no announcements. But the people closest to them could feel it. At family dinners, Christine smiled too wide. Janelle looked at her best friend with that quiet sadness only someone who's lived through the same heartbreak can recognize. I just wanted her to have what she never got with Kody, Janelle told a friend. She deserved that fairy tale. Christine, meanwhile, began spending more time with her daughters and grandkids. She threw herself into family life, cooking, traveling, posting little snippets of joy online. But the sparkle was different. It wasn't the sparkle of being in love. It was the kind you build when you're trying to keep yourself from falling apart. The private goodbye, the real ending didn't come with shouting or tears. It came quietly, one afternoon when David came by to pick up the last of his tools. They stood in the kitchen, the one they'd once remodeled together. Christine smiled softly. "I hope you're happy, David," she said. "I hope you are too," he replied. No bitterness, no anger, just acceptance, the kind that hurts worse than rage. When the door closed behind him, Christine leaned against the counter and took a deep breath. She didn't cry. She'd done enough of that in another life. Instead, she whispered to herself, "This time I'll be okay on my own." Epilogue, Janelle's reflection. Later that week, Janelle drove over with coffee and a bag of Christine's favorite pastries. They sat outside under a soft sunset, talking about everything except David. Finally, Janelle said quietly, "You know, I used to think love meant finding someone to share your life with. But maybe it's just about finding yourself again." Christine smiled, not the smile of denial, but of quiet strength. "Maybe that's what we've been doing all along," she said. The two women sat in silence, the sky painted pink and gold. And in that stillness, they both realized, sometimes, healing doesn't come from who walks into your life, but from who you become when they leave. Meri's speed date sparks chaos, Kody's anger, and the backlash no one saw coming. The restaurant was warm and softly lit, the kind of cozy place that felt like a new beginning. Meri Brown sat at a small table near the window, trying to calm her nerves. It was her first speed date, something her friends had pushed her to try. She hadn't been on a real date in over a decade, and though she told herself she was ready, her hand still shook when the first man sat down and smiled. For the first time in years, she wasn't Kody's first wife. She wasn't part of a plural family or a storyline on TV. She was just Meri. But she had no idea the night that was supposed to mark her independence would end up stirring up more drama than she ever imagined. A new beginning turns complicated. When word got out that Meri had joined a local speed dating event, fans were thrilled. Many saw it as the ultimate sign that she had finally moved on from Kody, the man who once told her on camera, "I have no desire to have a relationship with you." It was one of the most painful scenes in Sister Wives history, and for years, Meri seemed frozen in that heartbreak. So when she walked into that restaurant, wearing a confident smile and a sparkly gold scarf, it wasn't just a date, it was defiance. A quiet statement that she was no longer waiting for anyone's permission to be happy. But as it turns out, not everyone saw it that way. Kody's reaction. When Kody Brown found out about Meri's speed date, his reaction wasn't supportive, it was angry. According to sources close to the family, Kody felt disrespected that Meri would make something so public. Even though their marriage had long been over, Kody reportedly told friends that Meri was using the Brown name to draw attention. In one conversation filmed for the show, Kody allegedly said, "Meri can do what she wants, but dragging this kind of thing into the public eye, it just looks desperate." For Meri, those words cut deep. After years of being emotionally shut out, she finally tried to take a step forward, only to have Kody criticize her again. It was like being transported right back to the cold, distant relationship she'd worked so hard to escape. Janelle's quiet support. While Kody was fuming, Janelle Brown had a very different reaction. She was proud of Meri. "It takes courage to put yourself out there again," Janelle said during a confessional moment. "Meri's been through a lot. She deserves to find someone who values her." Janelle's words echoed what many fans were feeling. After years of being sidelined and emotionally neglected, Meri was finally doing something for herself, something brave and vulnerable. But even Janelle admitted she was a little concerned. "I just don't want her to get hurt again," she added. She has a good heart. She trusts people too easily. The speed date that went wrong. The speed dating event itself wasn't disastrous, but it wasn't smooth either. At first, Meri tried to laugh and stay open. She asked questions, told lighthearted stories, and even made one man laugh so hard he spilled his drink. But there were also awkward silences. A few men recognized her from sister wives. One even said, half-jokingly, "So, is Kody gonna show up and stop this?" Meri laughed it off, but the joke stung. By the end of the night, she walked out of the restaurant smiling for the cameras, but inside, she felt conflicted. Yes, she was proud of herself, but the experience had reminded her just how hard it was to start over when the world still saw her as Kody's ex-wife. Kody's public displeasure. A few days later, during a filmed family discussion, Kody couldn't resist bringing up Meri's date. "She keeps saying she wants to move on, but it always feels like she's doing it for attention," he said. "It's embarrassing." Robyn nodded silently beside him, avoiding eye contact. The tension in the room was thick. Christine and Janelle didn't say much, but their faces said everything. They were tired of Kody trying to control the women he'd already let go of. Janelle finally spoke up. "Maybe she's just living her life, Kody. You should try it." The silence that followed was heavy, the kind that makes even the cameras hesitate. Meri's response. When Meri heard Kody's comments, she didn't lash out. Instead, she posted a quiet message on Instagram the next morning. "Sometimes people mistake your peace for attention-seeking. Let them. You don't owe explanations to anyone who never saw your worth in the first place." It wasn't just a quote, it was a statement. A declaration that she was done living in someone else's shadow. Her followers flooded the comments with support. "You're glowing, Meri. You don't need Kody's approval. Keep dating. Keep living." And while Meri didn't publicly address the speed date again, insiders say she's already considering going to another event, maybe even outside Utah, where she's less recognizable. The emotional fallout. For Kody, this incident stirred something deeper, not love, but loss of control. The more his ex-wives move on, the less relevance he has in their lives. Christine has her independence. Janelle has her peace. And now Meri has her confidence back. The man who once had 4 wives and a sprawling family is now left clinging to what's left, and it's slipping away faster than he can manage. Meanwhile, Meri is finally learning what it means to live for herself, not as a wife, not as a sister wife, but as a woman rediscovering her worth. Final scene. In the next episode teaser, cameras capture Meri sitting alone in a cafe, looking out the window. The producer asks softly, "Would you do another speed date?" Meri smiles. "Maybe. But this time, I'm not looking for someone to fix me. I'm just looking to see if there's still a spark out there for me." And in that moment, it's clear, Meri might not have found love yet, but she's finally found herself. A house of heartbreak. Kody and Robyn Brown's fragile fresh start. The Flagstaff sky was gray that morning, the kind of cloudy calm that sits heavy before a big change. Cardboard boxes lined the living room floor, each one marked in black ink, kitchen, books, memories. Robyn Brown moved quietly between them, wrapping picture frames in old towels. Her eyes lingered on one photo, a smiling Garrison Brown standing in the backyard, sunlight in his hair. She traced his face gently with her thumb, then set the frame into the box. Across the room, Kody Brown was taping up another box, his movements sharp and restless. Every sound, the rip of tape, the thud of another box closing, seemed to echo through the emptying house like a reminder of how much had already been lost. This wasn't just another move. It was an ending, and a desperate attempt at a new beginning. The house that held too much pain. The Browns' Flagstaff home was supposed to be a sanctuary. When Kody and Robyn first moved in, it was filled with laughter, plans, and dreams of a united family. But now, the walls felt haunted, not by ghosts, but by memories. This was the house where everything fell apart. Christine left first, packing up her things with quiet resolve and a soft goodbye. Then came Janelle, stepping into her independence after years of tension. Even Meri, loyal, patient Meri, finally walked away. And then, the unthinkable, Garrison's passing. The tragedy changed everything. Kody stopped sleeping through the night. Robyn retreated deeper into herself, her once bright energy replaced by a quiet, aching sadness. She later admitted to friends that she'd sunk into a deep depression, unable to look out the window without feeling the weight of loss. "This house, it holds too much pain," she confessed in a tearful confessional. "Every corner reminds me of something we lost, someone we lost." So when the opportunity for a new house appeared, a home on the other side of Flagstaff, tucked into the trees with sunlight spilling across the yard, Kody didn't hesitate. "This," he said, his voice firm for the first time in months, "is where we start over, packing what's left of a family." As moving day approached, the couple found themselves surrounded by memories they couldn't pack away. Robyn discovered one of Garrison's old jackets folded neatly in a hallway closet. She held it for a long time before laying it across the moving truck's back seat. Kody spent hours in the garage, sorting through tools he hadn't used in years. When producers asked him what he was thinking, he said quietly, "I just want to leave the sadness behind. I want to walk into that new house and not feel like the world's fallen apart." But he also admitted something else, something that hinted at the deeper ache beneath his determination. "Maybe the kids will come around if they see we're trying. Maybe they'll visit." It was hope, fragile and desperate, that somehow this new house might rebuild bridges that were already burned. A dream home or a distraction. The new house wasn't massive or flashy, but it had warmth, wide windows, open space, and a porch where Robyn imagined hosting family dinners again. The offer had been accepted quickly, almost too quickly. They had less than a month to pack and move, and in the rush of logistics and paperwork, the emotional weight of it all was easy to ignore. But even amid the chaos, there were quiet moments that made it clear this wasn't just a move, it was a coping mechanism. Robyn told one of the producers during filming, "I keep telling myself it's going to be different there. That maybe the air will feel lighter, that I'll wake up and not cry." Kody nodded beside her but said nothing. His eyes were tired, the look of a man trying to build something out of ashes. A full-circle moment for the Browns. While Kody and Robyn packed for their new beginning, the rest of the Brown family was experiencing something bittersweet of their own. Madison Brush, Kody's daughter with Janelle, had announced she was expecting her fourth child. The timing felt almost otherworldly. Her due date was around March 5th, the same date Garrison had passed away the year before. Christine Brown was the first to point it out in a family text. "It's like the universe is reminding us that life always finds a way to start again." When Madison's baby girl arrived, she wasn't born on March 5th, but close enough to feel connected. Madison gave her the middle name Estelle, meaning star, a tribute to Garrison's light that still guided them all. For the family, it was a full-circle moment, a symbol that grief and hope can exist side by side. A hopeful goodbye. On the final night before the move, Robyn and Kody stood together in their empty living room. The lights were dim, and the air felt heavy with silence. Kody looked around and said quietly, "We've been through so much here. I don't know if leaving changes that, but I need to believe it can." Robyn nodded, her voice trembling. "I just want peace, Kody. I want to stop feeling like we're surviving and start living again." He reached for her hand, a rare, quiet gesture of unity between two people who had weathered too many storms. For a moment, neither of them spoke. The only sound was the wind outside, brushing against the windows as if to say it was time to go. The road ahead. The next morning, the moving truck rumbled to life. Robyn sat in the passenger seat, her hand resting on a photo album in her lap. Kody took one last look in the rearview mirror as the house disappeared behind them. To the outside world, it looked like a couple chasing a new dream. But to those who knew the Brown story, it was something quieter, something more human, two people trying to make peace with their past. Whether this dream home would truly bring healing or just another layer of distance remained to be seen. But for now, as Flagstaff's mountains faded in the distance, it was enough to believe in the possibility of peace. Sister Wives, Robyn Brown opens up about her deep depression and the Browns' painful fresh start. The quiet streets of Flagstaff, Arizona, once echoed with the chaos and heartbreak of the Brown family. For years, the sprawling home where Kody and Robyn Brown lived stood as the heart of a crumbling empire, a place where 3 decades of shared faith, love, and family bonds unraveled. But now, as Season 20 of Sister Wives unfolds, viewers are witnessing the Browns' attempt at something new. A clean slate, a dream home, and perhaps a final act in a story defined by loss and resilience. A house full of heartbreak. In the October 12th episode, Robyn Brown, 47, finally opened up about the emotional toll of living in what she calls a haunted house of memories. I was in a deep, deep depression in this house while the splits were happening, while the divorces were happening, Robyn confessed, her voice cracking as she spoke to the cameras. Every split happened when we were living in this house. Those splits refer to a series of devastating breakups that left the once famous plural family in pieces. Christine Brown was the first to walk away in 2021 after 25 years of marriage. Janelle followed in 2022. Then, Meri, the first wife and Kody's partner of more than 30 years, announced her separation in early 2023. By the time the dust settled, only Robyn remained. Kody's breaking point. For Kody Brown, 56, the house symbolized the collapse of everything he'd built, spiritually, emotionally, and as a father. This house had a series of sad events, Kody admitted. First, I start breaking up with my family, I get COVID, Christine leaves, we had a nasty Christmas, then one we didn't even do together. It was just one thing after another. But the worst heartbreak came in March 2024, when their son, Garrison Brown, whom Kody shared with ex-wife Janelle, tragically died by suicide at the age of 25. The loss shook the entire Brown family to its core. Kody stood outside the Flagstaff home, pointing to the walls that had seen too many tears. "This place has pain in it," he said. "This is where my heart broke, right here." Robyn's emotional burden. Robyn's connection to the house was equally heavy. Once the favorite wife, in the eyes of fans, and often the source of tension among the sister wives, she revealed that the isolation and backlash only deepened her struggles. "I didn't feel joy here anymore," she said softly. Every room had a memory of someone leaving. It was like the walls were closing in on me. She described spending months in depression while watching the family fall apart around her. For Robyn, selling the home wasn't just a real estate decision, it was an act of survival. "The new home for me is like a new beginning," she explained. "I see a lot of future there, which is really great." Selling the past, literally. In April 2024, Kody and Robyn listed their 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom Flagstaff home for $1.65 million. It sold quickly, a sign, perhaps, that the universe was ready for them to move on. The couple soon packed up and relocated to another property nearby, one Robyn described as bright, peaceful, and open. "We'll be leaving a lot of pain and hard memories behind," she said. "The space itself is really conducive to the things we want to do with our future." Kody echoed that hope, believing that their new home might even help mend the rift between him and his estranged adult children. "Maybe this new place will encourage them to visit," he said. "Maybe it'll be a spot where we can rebuild something. Anything." Christine's perspective. It's time to close that door. Even Christine Brown, who has since remarried and moved on with her new husband, David Woolley, had something to say about Kody and Robyn's decision to move. "I found out from a random stranger online that they were selling the house," Christine admitted in her confessional. "But honestly, I think it's good for them. Kody probably has a lot of hard memories in that house. He had 3 wives leave him while he lived there." She added with a small, knowing smile, "Move and be done with it. Close that door and start another chapter, a whole other life with Robyn." The end of Coyote Pass. Their move also came just a year after the Browns sold their long-discussed Coyote Pass property, the 14-acre dreamland that was supposed to unite the entire family. Purchased in 2018, it became a symbol of broken promises and unfulfilled dreams. In 2025, Kody, Robyn, Meri, and Janelle sold the land for $1.5 million, officially ending one of the longest-running storylines in Sister Wives history. Christine, who gave up her share of the land when she left Kody, did not receive any money from that sale, though she had already made her peace and her profit from selling her own Flagstaff home years prior. A family in fragments, searching for peace. Today, Kody and Robyn live quietly with their 2 youngest children, Solomon, 13, and Ariella, 9, along with Robyn's 3 older kids, Dayton, Aurora, and Brianna from her first marriage. While life seems calmer on the surface, fans can't help but wonder if this fresh start will truly bring healing, or just more distance. Kody continues to wrestle with guilt and loneliness, often seen reflecting on what he's lost more than what he has left. Robyn, meanwhile, seems torn between loyalty and sorrow. The last remaining wife in a family that was built on unity and faith, now standing alone in a quiet Arizona home that feels too big for just two people. A new beginning, or the final chapter. As Sister Wives Season 20 continues, the cameras capture not just a family moving boxes, but a couple trying to move forward emotionally. Their new house might have more sunlight, more space, and fewer memories, but the shadows of the past still linger. "We want a new beginning. Something different, something new," Kody said, his voice heavy with both hope and exhaustion. Whether this truly marks a new chapter or simply another painful cycle remains to be seen. For now, one thing is clear. The Browns' dream home is more than a physical move. It's a desperate attempt to rebuild a dream that's been breaking for years. Sister Wives, Kody Brown's struggle with monogamy inside his intimacy fears after the family exodus. For more than 3 decades, Sister Wives star Kody Brown was defined by one thing: polygamy. The TLC patriarch built his entire life around balancing multiple marriages, 4 households, and nearly 24 children. But now, for the first time in his adult life, Kody is facing a reality he never imagined. He's a monogamist. And he's not sure how to handle it. From plural patriarch to one-woman man. Once the proud leader of a sprawling polygamous family, Kody Brown now lives with just one wife, Robyn Brown, his 4th and only remaining partner. The other wives, Meri, Janelle, and Christine, have all left him in the past 3 years, marking the end of the family dynamic that made Sister Wives famous. Christine was the first to leave in 2021 after more than 25 years of marriage. Her decision came after years of tension, isolation, and emotional distance. Janelle followed a year later, admitting she had reached her breaking point with Kody's control and favoritism. Finally, in early 2023, Meri officially confirmed her split, closing the door on a 30-year relationship that had long since lost its spark. That left Kody with one wife, Robyn, the woman who once represented the fresh start of his plural family, and now, the only one still standing by his side. "This new dynamic wasn't my choice," Kody admitted in a recent Sister Wives confessional. "I didn't plan for my family to fall apart. I didn't plan to be a monogamist." Life in a one-household world. For decades, Kody's life followed a rigid rotation. He split his time between homes, dividing his presence among 4 women and their many children. Each wife had her own household, her own rhythm, her own expectations. Now, Kody wakes up and goes to sleep in the same house every day, something that would sound normal for most people. But for Kody, it's completely foreign. He's living full-time with Robyn and their 2 biological children, Solomon, 13, and Ariella, 9, along with Robyn's 3 older children from her first marriage, Dayton, Aurora, and Brianna. "It's strange not having to plan my days around whose house I'm going to next," Kody said. "I'm used to moving around, managing relationships, keeping the peace. Now it's just quiet." Robyn, meanwhile, admits that this adjustment has changed the energy between them. "It's a different kind of relationship now," she explained. "He's home all the time, which is new for both of us. I think we're still learning how to balance it. The shift in power and presence. Part of what makes this new setup so challenging for Kody is that Robyn's marriage structure has always been different from the others. When she joined the family in 2010, she insisted that Kody take on a more hands-on, traditional husband role. She even made him an office space in her home, something the other wives never did, so that he could feel more anchored there. Over the years, that closeness made Robyn his emotional center, often to the frustration of Meri, Janelle, and Christine. Now, without the others, Kody's attachment to Robyn has only intensified, and it's beginning to show cracks. "We have a different kind of marriage now," Robyn said on the show. "He checks in differently, he's more present, but also more restless. I think he's still figuring out what being a monogamous husband really means." Kody's intimacy fears. As if adjusting to monogamy wasn't hard enough, Kody's latest confession has sparked new conversations among fans about his fears of physical and emotional intimacy in this new life. "I think a polygamist gets more intimacy than he wants," Kody admitted, "and a monogamist doesn't get enough." It's a statement that stunned viewers, equal parts blunt, insecure, and revealing. For Kody, intimacy has always been part of a larger rotation. Attention, affection, and even passion were spread out over multiple partners. Now, with only one wife left, he's feeling the weight of that change in ways he never expected. Robyn, however, doesn't share his concern. "I don't understand why he's worried," she said in her interview. "Our relationship hasn't changed that way. If anything, we're closer now." But insiders and fans alike note the tension beneath the surface. Robyn seems to be managing guilt for being the last wife standing, while Kody wrestles with the reality that the lifestyle he once championed is gone forever. A crisis of identity. For decades, Kody built his identity around being the patriarch of a plural family. His authority, his spiritual beliefs, and even his self-worth were tied to the idea of leading multiple women and dozens of children. Without that structure, he's had to redefine who he is as a husband, a father, and a man. "I was always the guy with 4 wives, he reflected. "Now I'm just Kody and Robyn. It's strange. I don't know what that means yet." Robyn, for her part, seems torn between relief and sadness. She's long said that she didn't want to be Kody's only wife, but she also feared losing him completely. "This isn't what I signed up for either," she admitted in tears. "I wanted sister wives. I wanted a big family. But this is where we are now." Fans react, sympathy or skepticism. Online, reactions have been divided. Some viewers sympathize with Kody's struggle, noting that adjusting from a life of multiple partners to just one could feel isolating. Others, however, have little patience for his complaints. "He created this," one fan wrote on Reddit. "He neglected his other wives for Robyn, and now he's shocked he ended up alone with her." "He's not missing polygamy," another commented. "He's missing the power it gave him." It's a sentiment echoed by many who watched the breakdown of his marriages play out on screen, that Kody's biggest issue isn't intimacy, but accountability. The road ahead, can monogamy heal him? For now, Kody and Robyn are trying to rebuild in their new Flagstaff home, hoping that time and stability will bring peace. But Kody's restlessness lingers, a mix of grief, nostalgia, and fear that his life's purpose has slipped away. "We want a new beginning," he said. "Something different, something that works for where we are now." Yet, as the cameras keep rolling, one question hangs heavy over the Brown family story. Can a man who built his world on polygamy ever be truly happy with just one woman? For Kody and Robyn, their so-called fresh start might be the hardest chapter yet, not because of the family they've lost, but because of the quiet reality that's finally set in. The plural dream is over. And now, they have to live with what's left. Sister wives shake up. Kody and Robyn Brown's emotional move after family fracture. The Brown family story has never been short on heartbreak, but this latest chapter may be one of the most emotional yet. Sister Wives stars Kody and Robyn Brown are officially saying goodbye to their Flagstaff home, the house that became both their sanctuary and their prison. What was once meant to be a new beginning turned into a constant reminder of loss, betrayal, and broken family ties. Now, the couple is packing their memories and their grief into boxes, hoping a change of address might bring the peace that's eluded them for years. A home haunted by heartbreak. When Kody and Robyn first moved into their Flagstaff home, they envisioned it as a safe haven for their large, plural family. But instead, it became the setting for the slow unraveling of everything they had built. From those walls, they watched the family fall apart, first with Christine's exit in 2021, followed by Janelle's separation in 2022, and finally Meri's official split in early 2023. Each departure chipped away at the foundation of Kody's once grand polygamous vision. And then came the darkest blow of all, the tragic death of Kody and Janelle's son, Garrison, in March 2024. "This house holds too much pain," Kody said somberly during a recent Sister Wives episode. "It's where my family fell apart. It's where I lost my son. I don't want to be here anymore." For Robyn, the emotional weight of the home became unbearable. "I went into a deep depression living in this house," she revealed tearfully. "Every breakup, every hard conversation, every heartbreak happened here. I need to let it go." The decision to leave. According to People, the couple's decision to move didn't come lightly. The house had long symbolized both success and sorrow, a reminder of what Kody once had and what he's lost. But as the grief deepened, so did their desire for a clean slate. Their real estate agent helped them find what they're calling their dream home, a property in another part of Flagstaff that promises more space, more light, and, hopefully, a little more peace. Once their offer was accepted, the clock started ticking. They had less than a month to sell their current home and relocate, a stressful but welcome challenge. We had to move fast, Robyn shared. But maybe that's a blessing. We don't have time to sit and dwell on the sadness. We're just moving forward. A symbolic goodbye. As moving day approached, both Kody and Robyn admitted that the process felt heavier than expected. Packing up memories, from family photos to children's keepsakes, meant confronting the ghosts of what used to be. Kody described moments where he stopped mid-box, holding an old photo of his family together. I remember looking at that picture, all of us smiling, and realizing how far away that feels now, he said quietly. That was a lifetime ago. Robyn agreed that leaving the house was bittersweet. It's not just the walls or the furniture, she said. It's the laughter, the kids running around, the noise. It's hard to say goodbye to that, even when it hurts. Seeking solace in a new dream home. The new property represents a fresh start, a dream home, as Robyn calls it. Nestled in another part of Flagstaff, it's both familiar and different. It's still in the same city, but the emotional distance is what matters most. The new home for me is like a new beginning, Robyn explained. It feels open, bright, and hopeful. I see a future there, something I haven't felt in a long time. For Kody, the move carries deeper hopes. He believes that this new home might serve as a bridge to rebuild his fractured relationships with his adult children, many of whom have distanced themselves following years of tension. Maybe they'll come visit, he said. Maybe they'll see we're trying to move forward. I just want them to feel welcome again. Can a change of address heal the wounds? Despite their optimism, the path to reconciliation remains rocky. Several of Kody's children have spoken publicly about strained relationships with their father, citing years of neglect and favoritism toward Robyn's household. For many fans, Kody's hopes for a family reunion seem more symbolic than realistic. The Browns' issues run deeper than geography. You can move houses, one fan wrote on social media, but you can't move away from guilt or grief. Even Kody seems to acknowledge that the road to healing will be long. We're not expecting miracles, he admitted. But maybe this new place is where things can start to feel okay again. Faith, family, and fragility. Throughout their emotional transition, Robyn has held tightly to her faith, something she says keeps her grounded when the future feels uncertain. I keep telling myself, one step at a time, one prayer at a time, she said. God has a plan for us. Maybe this move is part of that plan. Kody echoed her sentiment, though his tone carried more exhaustion than conviction. We've lost so much, he said, but I don't want to lose hope too. As they settle into their new home, the couple is focusing on rebuilding, not just their house, but their sense of purpose. A new beginning for what remains of the Browns. Kody and Robyn's move marks a symbolic turning point in the sister-wives saga. What began as a show about unity and plural marriage has become a story about survival and reinvention. They're no longer a family of 4 wives and 18 children under one faith. They're 2 people, once surrounded by chaos, now surrounded by silence, trying to find meaning in what's left. We've been through hell in this house, Robyn reflected as the moving truck pulled away. Maybe it's time we find a little bit of heaven somewhere else. Whether this dream home truly brings healing or simply a temporary calm remains to be seen. But for now, Kody and Robyn Brown are choosing to believe in the possibility of peace, and that, perhaps, is the most powerful move they've made yet. Thanks for watching this videos. Please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up.